Hi, this is Chris with Cali Soda Adventure and Review, and today I'm going to be talking about binoculars, 10 by 42 to be specific. Today's binocular I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to be comparing to ones that I already had in the same magnification, but the plus side with this one is it has a built-in rangefinder, which is going to be extremely handy, even though I have a rangefinder, and I'll show you why. So I've had these binoculars for a couple years now. My in-laws had a pair and I really liked them, so they gave me them for Christmas. They're Bushnell 10 by 42s. The nice thing I like about them is the lens caps stay on the binoculars themselves. So the bottom cap and then the top set of caps. So you never have to worry about losing a set of caps. And it came with a nice carry bag. You can put it on your belt if you wanted to. But pretty simple. They work extremely well. I've been watching a lot of long range shooting lately, and 10 by 42 seems to be a very popular choice for hunters and for long range shooting because it stretches out just good enough to find targets, 5, 6, 700 yards away, up to 1,000 yards away if you would. Um, So I've been using these to spot targets in the desert along with my little rangefinder. The issue with using both of them together is the magnification is different. So while I can find the targets with the binoculars, then I have to put the binoculars down. I have to grab my rangefinder, hopefully find the target quick enough to get on target in an accurate time. And then sometimes I can't see it as well because the binoculars are so much more powerful. So that brings me to what I have today is 10 by 42 binoculars that have a rangefinder built in. I received this from a company on Amazon, and so far I'm extremely impressed with its quality and the features that it came with. It came with one set of harness straps that's very padded. It came with another set of harness straps, binocular straps, if you will, that's not as padded. It's just normal webbing. It came with a chest mount, so you could strap this and put it around your shoulders like a backpack, and then have it kind of a little bit more for hiking, if you will, so it's not jostling around. It came with an extra battery, and the nice thing I liked about it is it came with a tripod mount, which until now I didn't realize that my other binoculars were capable of such a thing, and I never had a mount to begin with. So let me show you a little bit of the features on the binoculars themselves. So they have a red LED reticle inside the right binocular. Um, so depending on the angle that you hold them, it might be a little bit crooked for you to view. So I'm going to press and hold the memory button. Now this has different features as a display brightness. You can change from yards to meters. And the nice thing I like is you can change the pointing reticle. So it was a circle, now it's a square. Now it's more of like a crosshair. Now it's a circle with a dot in the middle. Now it's a crosshair with a circle in the middle. Now it's a crosshair with a square. Now it's a crosshair with a square and a circle and a dot. So it gives you a lot of different options for how you aim it and what it looks like. Not how you aim it, I guess what it looks like while you're aiming it. You scroll through them by pressing the operation button. So hold down the memory button for a couple seconds. It'll start flashing, and then you just scroll through everything. So very, very easy to use. It was pretty simple to figure that out. The battery goes here in the bottom. There's a little special case that flips open, and then you unscrew it. So the batteries are, I forget what size, I'd have to look, but they're just tiny little things. I'm sure you'd find a million of them on Amazon. for not that expensive. But behind the camera, there is a water tower. I'm out here in the desert, and it is telling me that it is 419 yards exactly away. Now I'm going to use my rangefinder. And this one's telling me 421 yards away. And the optic quality on the rangefinder is not that great compared to the binoculars. I can still see the water tower very easily, but trying to zoom in on something to range is going to be much harder with a rangefinder. Yeah, I mean, it's just night and day difference. And the nice thing is now I don't have to go and lose track of the target. So if I'm looking for a deer or an antelope or whatever, I can just go and keep aiming right where I'm looking, hit the button real quick, get a quick range, dial that into the rifle, and I know exactly where I should be aiming. So to attach the tripod attachment, you just unscrew the little cap that's in the front between where the hinge is and screw on this little adapter. Now you can screw this onto a tripod. I put Arca rail attachment on that so I can put it on and off my tripod really quickly. Just open it up, close it real quick, and now I have a really very secure way to use my binoculars. So when I am hunting or range finding, I just mount them to my shooting stick with the ball head. Now this makes it so I can obviously aim them wherever I want. So it's a pretty windy day here in Nevada, as you can probably see from the camera shaking. You know, it's weighted down. So this is with the tripod mount. I can aim it wherever you want. Set it up. And let's see how far these houses are in the distance. It's like 767 yards. So we're just outside of town in the desert. Wanted to do a quick video on these. So they are $530. Should you get a pair of binoculars that are that expensive, opposed to a pair of Bushnells that are the same magnification, and then buy yourself a rangefinder, I think it's worth spending the money and buying just one unit personally. Even though I got by on the Bushnell and the rangefinders, having them all in one is just so much more handy. It's one less thing I have to carry. They work great. You don't have to go and switch back and forth, maybe lose the deer, maybe lose the target you're trying to go for at long range shooting. Just aim it, pick whatever reticle that suits you the best. You know, I like to have the circle with a little tiny dot in the middle because it's more like a red dot type of aiming for me. If you're aiming for something bigger, you can open it up. So like the square might be better for you. But either way, the amount of features that it came with, you know, the chest harness, the extra straps, and then the tripod harness, or I'm sorry, the tripod mount. That was just a really cool feature. I didn't expect them to have all that. So yeah, I would recommend this for sure if you're looking for a pair of binoculars for hunting, for long range shooting, if you're getting into PSR matches or anything that you need to be range finding and spotting a target. If you want to get into the sport for not breaking the bank, I would suggest these. This is the Heroic model. I'll put a link below, of course, so you can check them out. So the one thing I do not like about them which I'm always going to mention something I don't like from these products, because I hope that you guys will find it informative and make a decision on buying it yourself. What I thought, but I think that they really should have made the lens caps a lot more sturdy, or a different way of attaching them so they stay with the binoculars themselves. I just hate that they just completely come off. You have to put them in the bag. Hopefully they don't fall out of the bag. You don't lose one. I have a set of binoculars at home that I just, for the life of me, cannot find the caps. So now it's just always dusty and dirty. And I like to keep the caps on to prevent them from getting scratched. So that's my one complaint about them. Otherwise, the magnification is amazing for what I'm using it for. They zoom in perfectly. They have a really good clarity. The range finding option is extremely nice to have. And I'll be using these a lot more in the future for shooting and hunting, opposed to using a separate pair of binoculars and a separate rangefinder. I hope you liked the video. Hope you found it informative. If it's too windy, I apologize. I am in Nevada, home of the wind. And I'll catch you in the next one. I hope you're doing good in your life. Thanks for watching.